Chapter 41. Canst thou draw out leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shalt not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment? And who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and the flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth him up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp-pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh the path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride. This chapter deals with the supposed leviathan. Now, the word leviathan in Hebrew means twisted or coiled, and basically is to describe some kind of sea monster that is twisted or coiled, not a whale. And although the word leviathan has taken on the connotations of a whale, that's not what it originally was intended to be. Apparently this leviathan, if you go and look under Wikipedia, it will tell you all the stuff you're ever likely to want to know about what leviathan was, or was supposed to be, according to the Hebrew, according to all of the connotations of whatever it was supposed to be. And I think it's worthwhile to go and do that. It was a literary device, just the same way as some characters are devices. You know, in English literature we have Sherlock Holmes, who never existed as an individual. There were detectives, but there was no Sherlock Holmes. There was no Dr. Watson. They were literary devices for getting a point across, and Leviathan was there at the point of getting a point across. That Leviathan, which could have been created by God if he'd wanted to, would have still been answerable to God. And if something that big and that powerful could have been controlled or answerable to God, then how much more important would it have been? Then would it have been answerable to man? No. Then should not God be the ultimate authority to whom man is responsible? And this is the kind of thing that goes back and forth in all of these devices. Is it has a function. It's to set up a circumstance so that when you ask a question or you put somebody in a circumstance, the answer is obvious. And the answer is, if such a big creature could be controlled by God, then you as human, who are so much less powerful, so much less to be feared, how much more important is it for you to respect God and to be answerable to Him? And that's the question. And that's what we all need to answer in our own lives.